Hey, how's everybody doing today? This afternoon here, I'm gonna pull a seal on a 1966 Evinrude 18 horse. I bought this off Marketplace, and I had to drive almost 3 hours one way to go get it. But I wanted to complete or add to my collection of this era with the style of 18 horses. And I've got a 67 and a 68, but I didn't have the 66. And to be honest with you, they're not really that much different at all, if any. Minor little things. Like the blue might be white in one year, and this might be inverted, changed around just a little bit. But I wanted to complete my collection. I keep saying that, I mean add to it until I get all of the ones that are in this group. It goes back to 63 at least. It might even go back farther than that, I have to look. But anyway, that tool you see sticking up there, I bought that from richardsoutboardtools.com. And that's a crank seal puller. It's like $50 with shipping. He makes these. It's richardsoutboardtools.com. I think he's out down in Ohio, one state down. Anyway, I got this one already started. It's got some threads on it, and you twist it down into the rubber portion of the seal until you pretty much can't turn it anymore with using the T-handle. And when you get that, then you turn this square nut here, and as you do, there's not a nut, but anyway, the threaded bolt goes down and sits on top of the crankshaft, and it's pulling it up as I'm turning it. And there it is, one leaky top crankshaft seal. richardsoutboardtools.com. Okay, then we're gonna take some air and clean that out. Make sure there's no dirt in there. Get the air hole over there. Now, let's see here. Oh, got it right here. Okay. Next step is to visually inspect and make sure you got all the, none of the rubber or anything else fell down in there. You don't want anything down in the crankcase or up and around in the bearings. Everything looks pretty clean. Maybe I can bring you over here and show you. There it is. You can see the bearings in there. That looks pretty clean. Everything looks good. Put you back down. Okay, here's the seal we're going to install. This particular one, because I only needed the one part, That was about the same price on marineengine.com, but then it's $8.95 shipping. And like I said, if I was ordering a bunch of things, then I would have got it from them. But I got it on eBay and it's new old stock. Part number 305987. I don't know if you can read that or not. Yeah, not going to focus. Part number 305987. I'll try and remember to put that in the description. Alright. I gotta tie my shoe. I just stepped on my shoelace and yanked it out. It's way too long. Okay, now what I like to do is take a little bit of oil. And just lubricate it. Just get some oil on your finger. Run it around inside of the seal. And put a little bit on your finger and let it drip down onto the crankshaft. And then I'm going to put a little bit of Permatex number 2, non-hardening Permatex number 2, around the outside of the seal. It's a non-hardening, and I do that on advice of a friend of mine out in Kansas. He was a marine mechanic for 50 years. And okay, now I just had my Permatex. Here it is. Just a little bit around the outside. And we set that down over the crankshaft. You want to put the seal in so that the closed side is facing towards the top. If you got the spring showing when you're looking at it, then it's upside down. This is my top crankshaft seal install tool. It's just a fiberglass handle off one of my old roofing spoons that I ripped shingles off with. Took it to the miter saw some time ago and cut it off square. Just tapping lightly. You know, you don't want to pound on it. My flashlight. You'll be able to tell when it seats, but the idea is not to just give it crazy smashing blows. You want to tap it down nice and straight, nice and easy. You don't want it going in sideways and tipping over. So whatever you choose for your install tool, I mean, you can go order one somewhere if you want, but this works fine. You want it to be softer than the metal that it looks crooked in the video. It looks sideways, but it's not. It's cut square. I don't know why it looks that way. Looks out of whack, doesn't it? This camera is crazy. But you want the drive tool to be softer than the metal that the seal's made out of, so you don't damage it, but yet strong enough where it's not going to crumble. This is a pretty good tool. After I cut it off, I took some sandpaper and went around the edges and smoothed it all off inside and out, and I cut both sides square. See, I got my finger up against this surface here, and also up against the tool, so to speak. And I can feel when it's moving, and I can feel when it stops, as I've got my finger pinched and pressed right in there. So that's all the way down. Nice light taps. You don't want to be pounding on it. You don't want it going in sideways. But that's all there is to it. There it is. Get the flashlight on it. That's all there is to it. So I've already gone through, I cleaned the pan out real good because it was filthy, you know, 50 some years old, 57, same age as me. We have the same birthday. Started replacing the fuel lines, but I did, I gave it a pretty good cleaning down in there. It's a good time to get everything really cleaned up, is when you got them torn down partially. It's a lot easier to get at it, all the nooks and crannies. My wife is a registered dental assistant, and she buys these for me from her work. Swaps from the dental office. And they work great for getting into all these little spots. You cleaning all these little gaps and crevices and corners. Works really good. I've already taken the carburetor off of this, and it's been in the ultrasonic. You might be able to tell. Pretty darn good looking carburetor for 57 years old. That ultrasonic, I just love it. It does an awesome job. It wasn't that expensive. I got it on Amazon. I think it's 6 liters. It was like $130 or something like that. If I can find it in my orders, maybe I can post a link. Oh, the bees like it too. They must have thought it was a swimming pool. I don't know about you guys, but the bees in Michigan are crazy. I killed 40 bees in my house yesterday alone. They're sneaking in a crack someplace. Alright, back to the motor. I started replacing the fuel lines after I put the carburetor back together. Put the rebuild kit on it. I've got the supply line to the fuel pump to go yet. The line that I use, some guy commented it's not marine grade. Well, I don't know. It's chainsaw grade, and chainsaws run on gas, so I don't know. I guess the salt water in Lake Huron's gonna chew it up or something. I'm just kidding. There's, it rains. It's covered. You get waves in a boat. If your motor's getting that wet, that you got to use special marine gas line. I don't know. But anyway, it's Oregon gas line, and you can get it in different inside and outside diameters from Ace Hardware and probably a lot of places. There it is. That's $1.50 a foot or something like that. The mag plate is over here. I'm going to do that right after I get done with this video. I've got an actual Johnson. These coils are good, and they're a lot better than the Chinese ones. Bless their little hearts for keeping us in coils, but if I can get my hands on some good used purples, I'm going to keep them. But I have a tune-up kit. I got to grab that yet. It's in my truck. And I didn't buy the Sierra ones because there's been a lot of problems with sloppiness. It's real hard to get a good you get good timing when you got so much play in the points that you can't even set it right. But that's going to be next. Maybe I'll do a video if I can find a place to set my camera where it actually points at what we're doing. After I get that done, I'm going to dig into the lower unit. I've got a reseal kit on order. It's going to be a few more days on that. But anyway, that's how you do that. Appreciate you watching, and comments are always appreciated. If I can ever help anybody out, you could message me on Facebook or whatever you prefer this way on the emails that you can use. It's kind of a hard, slow way for me. I don't get the notifications as good as I do other ways. But if you have any questions, give me a holler. Thanks for watching. I always appreciate you guys.